What is language? Let us start by saying what language is not. It is not orthography, that is the way language is written. One would not think a cassette tape is language, as it just records language. In the same way, orthography just records language. Just like any one cassette can be used by any language, any system of orthography can be used for any language. Consider, there are alphabet-based writing systems for Chinese. The Japanese make use of Chinese ideograms as well as our alphabet, and additionally have two syllabaries, writing systems based on syllables as opposed to letters or ideas. Think about this. You can make up a writing system for English right now, and that would not mean you are making a different language. For language existed before writing, indeed before any dictionary. That brings us to another point. When a person spontaneously makes up a word, other people may say they are correcting him or her when they say that's not a word, and then to prove their point, they go to the dictionary and note the word's absence therefrom. Now, if this argument held validity, then there cannot possibly be any words to begin with, for the dictionary was made after the fact of language coming into existence. Words and languages are phenomena. Language is an organism, subject to change, just like everything in nature, indeed in the universe, except perhaps for math and logic. Very often, what we really mean by alphabets is a particular language's inventory of phonemes, which is a sort of list in the grammar of a language that indicates which phonemes, i.e. what we erroneously may think of as letters, are recognized. This topic gets into feature theory, which has to do with those features of a phoneme that are distinctive as opposed to purposely ignored by the grammar. To illustrate, a distinctive feature may be the use of both lips when you say the first letter of but. Also, a distinctive feature of that phoneme is the vocal cords vibrating, and another feature is that the sound was articulated with a complete stoppage of air before the air was let go. But what was not a distinctive feature was whether or not air continued to stream out of the mouth for a long time after the stoppage was let go. Yet in another language, e.g. Sanskrit, that last feature would have been distinctive. In a way, grammar is a system of what the speaker is supposed to be cognizant of or to ignore. The baby is cognizant of all the sounds and features of language, with a capital L, and then learns through trial and error what to ignore, i.e. learns one or more languages with a lowercase l. Think about this. The way we pronounce T in Adam appears as phoneme T to us, but in Czech, the way we pronounce that T would be perceived as phoneme R. And think about this. A little first grader might spell truck as C-H-R-U-C-K because he hears a certain feature of phoneme T in this context that grammatically is not supposed to be there. Indeed, sometimes the usual distinctive feature of a phoneme are not even present but actually projected into the sound through context. Sounds with the distinctive features projected into them are known as allophones, but one allophone of a group of allophones is the one that sounds the way the phoneme is supposed to sound, i.e. it is ideal. Now, let it be known that when I said supposed in regards to the sounds or features a grammar says you are supposed to ignore or recognize, I use that word rather figuratively, as a descriptive term to describe the constraints, not rules, one picks up in the course of learning a language, and picks up in a purely natural sense. I speak from the point of view of descriptive grammar, which is science, not prescriptive grammar, which is etiquette or worse, such as classism or racism in some cases. The difference between the two outlooks of grammar is even more than that of night and day, for those two are at least complementary. The difference is that of apples and oranges. Here is a parallel. The difference between the two is as crucial as, of the same species as, the difference between one making observations of animals and fossils and describing the variety among them with a theory of evolution, and two, prescribing a belief in creationism as a moral obligation, despite what the facts suggest.